Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Jaya Girivardhari, Jaya Girivardhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha, Girivardhari, Jaya Girivardhari, Yashodanandana Vardhana, Yashodanandana Vardhana, Yamuna Tiram, Yamuna Tiram, Jaya Ram, Jaya Kunjavi, Jaya Rama, Jaya Kunjavi, Jaya Rama, Jaya Kunjavi. Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Ram, Ram, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Ram Krishna, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Jai Jagannath, Jai Madhava, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Bhadramai Jaya Sudharshana, Jai Jagannath, Jai Baladev, Bhadramai Jaya Sudharshana, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Swami Jai Jagannath, Jagannath Swami, Jagannath Swami, Nayana Patagami Desi. Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Jai Jagannath, Swami Jai Jagannath, Jai Prabhupada, Jai Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, Jai Sri Prabhupada ki jai. So today we are discussing the 23rd shloka, 25th chapter, third canto. So I will start shortly. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnanam Chakshurunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Tade Swayambhupadam Dadati Swapadam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavasya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Saganara Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Deva Shri Radha Krishna Param Sarvanam Shakaritam Pasya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Shivanu Sute Devi Pranam Vancha kalpataru kripa sindhubhya eva cha chidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gauravatta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Ram Ram Shilpa ki jai. So I will not many devotees but will continue. Hope some more will join later. Let's see. Madasraya kata avrushta shruvanti katayanti cha tapanti vividastapan metat madgata chetasaha. Word to word translation by Silpoga. Silpoga ki jai. Mad asrayaha, about me. Kataha, stories. Vrishta, delightful. Srinvanti, they hear. Kathayanti, they chant. Cha, tapanti, inflict suffering. Vividaha, various. Tapaha, the material miseries. Na, do not. Etam, unto them. Madgata, fixed on me. Chetasaha, their thoughts. Translation by Silpoga. Engage constantly in chanting and hearing about me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The sadhus do not suffer from material miseries because they are always filled with thoughts of my pastimes and activities. There are multifarious miseries in the material world. Material exists. Those pertaining to body and mind, those imposed by other living entities, and those imposed by natural disturbances. But a sadhu is not disturbed by such a miserable condition because his mind is always filled with Krishna consciousness, and thus he does not like to talk about anything but the activities of Lord. Maharaj Ambarisha did not speak of anything but the pastimes of Lord. Vacham Sivaikuntha Gunar Navarnane, Bhagavatam. He engaged his words only in glorification of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sadhus are always interested in hearing about the activities of the Lord or his devotees. Since they are filled with Krishna consciousness, they are forgetful of material miseries. Ordinary conditioned souls being forgetful of the activities of the Lord, are always full of anxieties and material tribulation. On the other hand, since the devotees always engage in topics of the Lord, they are forgetful of all the miseries of the material existence. Hare Krishna. मदाश्रया कथामृष्टा शृण्वन्ति कथयन्ति च तपन्ति विदस्तापाः नैतान् मद्गतचेतसः. So, very interesting shloka. Before that, I'll chant the pranamantras. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaprasthaya Bhutale Srimade Jayapataka Swaminithi Namane Namo Acharya Padaya Nitaya Kripa Padayane Gaurakata Dhamadaya Nagaragramatarini Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnaprasthaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swaminithi Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharini Nirvishesha Shunyavati Pashatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktarunna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so Maitreya Muni is explaining to Vidura, and this is a conversation between Kapila Muni, Lord Kapila, that is the incarnation of Lord, who has taken the birth in Devavati's home. Okay, and Kardama Muni was his father. And this is a conversation between Devavati, Mother Devavati, and Kapila Muni. And he is explaining the Sankhya philosophy. The name of this chapter is Glories of Devotional Service. We can understand. So basically, Sankhya is nothing but ultimately it leads to the devotional service. That's the purpose of Sankhya. There is nothing like atheist Sankhya, which was propagated in between in India also. But then actually the original Sankhya is nothing but it goes into devotional service. It culminates into devotional service ultimately. So here the discussion is happening, and Devavati was lamenting that she remained attached to the material affairs, and she could not really remain attached to sense enjoyment. And then she could not really devote much time in glorifying the Lord and serving the Lord. Basically, in devotional service, she could not find out time. Is what she was lamentation, and she was worried, who will give me the guidance on those aspects? So Kardama Muni said, "Don't worry. So you will get a son who is incarnation of Lord himself, and he will explain all the stuff. And that Sankhya philosophy will be propagated." So Devavati was thus eagerly listening to the Lord Kapila. And Lord Kapila is explaining what is the purpose of life, and then what is the glories of devotional service. What are the characteristics of the devotee? I mean, not in this shloka. Earlier shloka is explaining he's very patient, tolerant, humble, and he's what you call sadhave, means he follows the shastra. He's silent, he's very calm. These are the qualities of the devotees, and with these qualities one should adopt the devotional service. We should develop these qualities. Without these qualities getting developed, we cannot do the devotional service. So we should develop the qualities very systematically with a lot of effort. We should develop those qualities to blossom our devotional service. This is Lord Kapila is explaining in the earlier shloka. In this shloka, Lord Kapila is saying, in this way, devotee keeps chanting and glorifying my pastimes. Mine is Lord Krishna's pastimes. Lord Kapila also is the incarnation. So the devotees keep always chanting. chanting name of Lord, chanting glories of Lord. He always continue hearing about pastimes of the Lord, glories of the Lord. And in this way, he is fully engaged in the Lord's service. Shunvanti means keep hearing. Kathayanti, keep chanting. So in this, Prabhupada explains. So here the sloka says, the translation says that engage constantly in chanting and hearing about me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The sadhus do not suffer from material misery because they are always filled with thoughts of my pastimes and activity. So what is saying is, sadhus do not suffer from material misery. Very important. What are the material miseries? Prabhupada explains. Adhyatmic, Adhidavik, Adhibhautik. These are the three material miseries in the material world. What are those? Adhyatmic means sufferings coming from mind, one's mind and body, like body diseases, pain, some issues will be there, and you will suffer. Mind will have a lot of issues, psychological issues, and calm, crowd, love. All these mind will keep tossing us. So these are the suffering because they inflict the suffering. So these are one category of suffering. Other category, adhibhautik, means the suffering given by the other living entities. Adhibhauta, other bhuta, living entities. They give the suffering to the other living entity. How? Say for example, somebody steals something, somebody creates problem, somebody murder, or some keep disturbing. So these are some living entities, other living entities, animals keep suffering, making us suffer. Okay, dogs will bark, will not be able to sleep in night, or some mosquito will bite you, like that. We know that. So sufferings are there throughout. So we keep suffering due to this, due to the disturbance from the other living entity, because everybody is after sense enjoyment and there is a clash of interests everywhere. So they keep each inflicting sufferings on each other. So this is the way material world has been made by Lord. Somehow you will be able to enjoy senses somehow to some extent, but will a lot of sufferings in that attempt of enjoying senses. That's the problem. So this is third is Adidaivi. Adidaivic means the Daivi calamities, natural calamities, or nature inflicts the sufferings. Drought, famine, then too much heat, too much cold. Okay, some hurricane, is that. It keeps disturbing. Flood, all there. We have seen that. We keep seeing this. There is nothing is very new in this. Sufferings are coming from all the directions to the living. We are trying to cope up with that. And while coping up that itself is a lot of efforts and work, and that is another. So we are trying to mitigate those sufferings. In that process, we get some enjoyment, material sensation. We think that's happiness, but that's not happiness. That is actually the mitigation of this. But that's what we think. Oh, this is so somehow I mitigated the suffering and but actually we are not happy in real sense. We need to do something else, not only to mitigate the sufferings of this, but to do something else to become happy. Okay, so this is three types, and then there are basic sufferings, basic, broad, universal suffering. What are those? Janma, Mrityu, Jara. Taking birth is a pain. Mrityu, death, nobody likes, because everything is snatched away when you dies. Then Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Jara. It's not, nobody wants old age, but it's coming. And Vyadi is there throughout. Vyadi keeps working with us throughout and keeps suffering. These are four suffering. There are three suffering. So here it's tapa. Tapa means sufferings, especially three tapa. Okay, Adidavik, Adivoti. That's referred here. But what is this shloka says? Shloka translation says, "Who hears my pastimes, who is busy in talking about me, they are those devotees and who have developed a lot of good qualities through the deliberation, who are engaged in my devotional service continuously. Engaging continuously means either chant the name of Lord, hear the name of Lord, or do some service. Like that. So they are engaged in Lord's service. And the devotees who are not really, who are really absorbed in those, hearing about the Lord, pastimes of the Lord continuously. They don't suffer. They don't suffer. They suffer. They don't suffer means they don't realize. We should understand. So let me explain. Here it is said the devotees who are constantly engaged in chanting my name and my soul, they don't suffer. Means what? Actually, sufferings are there to devotees also. Don't you think, like for example, flood affect devotee? Yeah, it affects devotee. Other living entity also keep disturbing. Correct? They keep affecting the devotees, no doubt about it. But they are minimized by looking at devotees' surrender attitude. They are minimized. That's the arrangement of Lord. Maya works for Lord. And these sufferings are given by Maya and Prakriti. But these are reduced, eliminated, reduced. Secondly, whatever sufferings we have, devotee feels, he thinks it's mercy of Lord. Why? To make him grow fast on the devotional service, make him progress on the path. Correct? So these are the what you call wake up calls for the devotees. Sometimes suffering comes, devotee, God, Lord want devotee to little bit get up and continue the devotions with more enthusiasm. Otherwise, we may, because Maya is very powerful, and we are always struggling with our senses, mind, lot of desires. Devotee also has got desires at early initial phase of devotion, material desires. We keep struggling, but to help devotee grow, progress fast, and to always keep him, on the toes and keeping always alert, Lord inflicts the suffering. But on jiva, normal jiva, who are not devotees, also these sufferings are inflicted. But as a what? As a reaction to them. But for devotees, it is Lord's intervention where Lord wants devotee to understand that why I am suffering. Is it a place for happiness, permanent? So Lord is always giving opportunities to come to these various mechanisms. So but devotee, but non-devotee, like the common mass of people who are not necessarily the devotee, they suffer to direct consequences and action, reaction based on their karma. They will have sufferings. They will continue suffering. Okay, but Lord want everybody to come back, go back to him. That is Lord's this thing. So three types of sufferings are mentioned. Lord Kapila says the person who is engaged in mind devotions should not go through this tapas. So Lord Kapila explained to devotee. Devotee was lamenting, and she is now getting enlightened by us. So this is a part of mind, right? So now, what exactly it is? Let's understand. So we are attached to material life, perineum. It's very difficult to, leave the sense enjoyment. Very difficult to come out of material life. So we are struggling with senses and a lot of struggle for our activities. And in that process, not only we struggle, lose time, lose energy, but also we get attached to the more and more attached to the sense enjoyment. Then with the more and more attached to the karma, so karmic action reaction. Devotees are also doing karma. They are also active, but their activities are dedicated to karma. So they will not get back the bad results of their karma. That's very important. Okay, or it will be very bad. So the process of struggle is not only to acquire something, but it is to mitigation. Okay, so this is the way continue things go on. But Devotee wanted to retire from all this. They wanted to go to God and serve directly. Okay, so what is this all about? So then this shloka says Kathayanchi, Kathayanti, and Shunvanti. By narrating the pastimes, by listening to the pastimes of the Lord or name of the Lord, you will be liberated. How? So let's understand this. So why those are sufferings? These are sufferings we know. They are inflicted by outside. But actually, it is more so inside. Our internal consciousness currently is such a that any suffering ultimately reflects on our mind. And we keep, and that remains. So it's all. So basically, those sufferings are at the mind platform. Everything is in mind. Suppose we enjoy something, so it's good, it's good. Then we get disturbed, it's very bad. So we have got some program mind from time immediately, and it keeps, inviting a lot of stuff. Because mind is a reservoir of all those impressions. Okay, so mind keeps troubling us every now and then, and all those sufferings are due actually the mind related. Suppose somebody steals my money, so money, why I should be disturbed? But we get disturbed. Why? Because money, we are attached to money, to mind. Okay. So since we are attached to money, we suffer who would have taken. Let me find you out. And we suffer more because we are attached, like car. Suppose we are attached to our car, beautiful car, and something gets stuck there or car hits somewhere and then get damaged. So we feel so painful. Why? Because we are attached to the car. Actually, damage has happened to car, not to you, but we, as if it has happened to us only, we start, thinking that way. Okay. So, but it's a car which is a dead matter. So we have to understand basically all those sufferings are related to mind. We feel something like that, it doesn't happen that way. Okay. Like that. So then how come we are said this shloka Kathanti Shunvanti will deliver all this? We will address the issues. As I told, everything is stored in the mind. Okay, good, bad, memories, suffering ideas, happiness ideas. Okay, everything is stored in the mind. Now, if we don't control the mind, then mind keeps coming out on all these so many issues. It keeps, pushing a lot of, issues on us to address it. Okay. So it becomes restless. Okay, but if we, sort of engage the mind in the right activity, that is Kathayanti and Shunvanti, means talk about Bhagavatam, talk about devotees, talk about Lord, Kirtan, and engage yourself into those services. Okay, so if mind, if you engage in service of Lord, it's a mind which we are going to use as tools. So once you engage the mind, all our dirt accumulated on the mind gets removed. Because that's the potency of Harinam. Okay, it's very highly potent. Okay, we should take experience of this. We have seen that, you would have seen practical example. If I lose something, I may become sad for some time. But if mind is there, um, so for example, okay, um, I'll give the example in another way. Just a minute. So if my mind is engaged in, say for example, Lord service, then I will not realize this suffering. I will be detached from those so-called suffering, because mind is attached to so many material things. Mind is attached to so many, other things. But if I am attaching myself, my mind, to the Lord's activities, then naturally my attachment to the material things or those things will subside down, and automatically I will not feel the sufferings, feel the pain on the sufferings. And on the other hand, since I am attached to Lord's activities, Lord's pastimes, I will keep releasing that because they are transcendental. So Lord's name, Lord's activities, Lord's pastimes are transcendental, and it has got potency to deliver us from our clutches of the mind. It has got that potency. So that is why, if you are trying to mitigate the suffering and trying to address the issues, okay, you have to do something to mitigate the suffering. You have to address, but we should not get attached to that process also. Okay, we have got our duties to be fulfilled. We are trying to address some issue. Let's do that, but we should not get attached to that process and that paraphernalia. So if you get attached, that's why you get pain. But if you are attached to Lord, you do your activity, but you are attached to the Lord, okay, then whatever suffering comes will not really at a high intensity, at that much intensity. Let's say a little bit here, that's there. So that is the way we should liberate the mind from the clutches of the material. Because mind has got all Shadripurs, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Mada, Moha. These are the Shadripurs. Mind works. Mind is the agency of all thinking, willing, feeling. And we keep, sort of doing this and piling up all those karmic actions, piling up those impressions. So mind being a reservoir of all those activities, we have to divert our mind to the right cause so that we get attached to the Lord or his devotees. Attachment is necessary. We cannot say I will not remain attached. If suppose I am suffering in the material world, and then due to attachment, then one may say, okay, I will not attach to anything. That's what Mayavadi do. Or many transcendental do. They want to cut off everything. They want to go to forest and just meditate on some impersonal to control the mind. Okay, but it's not possible to really remain like that in that position where they will not attach. Living soul is Satchidananda. Soul always needs some interaction. Soul needs some activity. It needs some ananda. Soul needs some love. That is a basic need. So to fulfill that need, okay, we need to go to Lord. We are trying to fulfill that need through our material activities now currently. Okay, but we have to divert that mind's thing to the spiritual devotional, so that the mind get engaged, senses automatically gets controlled once mind is controlled. Now, because there are many cults where they do some artificial control of the senses. Of course, we should have control. There has to be restriction. That's why we follow Purva Vedanta. But beyond that, we really doesn't get into controlling senses per se. What we do, we are trying to divert our senses to the Lord's service, so that we don't get reaction, karmic reactions of the sense. That's the whole concept. So that is the way bhakti comes. While in other cults, more so it is more they are trying to restrain the mind. It's not easy. Okay, Arjuna says, his mind is difficult to control than wind, right? So how will for us simple? Just keep chanting the holy name of God. Associate with devotee. Association of devotee is very important. Even it is more important than chanting. Of course, chanting, everything is important, but topmost important is association, right? Because suppose you are doing chanting, you are doing some good thing, but then if you don't have association, you will leave it. You will you will reject it in front of Maya will catch you and say, okay, then we'll reject, right? Okay. So this is the this is the methodology we should work on. We should engage our mind into the positive attachment, because attachment is natural to the soul, and without attachment we cannot remain as such. So if you attach to material thing, we get entangled. But if you attach yourself to the transcendental nature of the Lord, transcendental activities of Lord, Triyanti, nine Navavidha Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So we can engage all those, use this all nine or some of those activities. Of course, Shravanam, Kirtanam is a minimum basic must, but beyond that, we can use those also. But we can take a main shelter of Shravanam, chanting process, and keep the mind attached, okay, to the Lord. Okay. Otherwise, there is no other option. It's very clear. Okay. So we should look into this way of spending our life, where Lord Kapila is explaining how we should behave in devotional life. Okay, devotees should develop the good qualities. The way I told in the starting of the session, you should have tolerance, humility, should have sincerity. Then you should follow the shastras like that. You should be truthful. Okay. So while developing those qualities, in fact, if you start chanting, those qualities will come automatically. But we should put effort in those qualities, conscious effort. No, today I'm going to change my habit, this bad habit. Today I'm going to do this. So we should always, try to, come out of this, this thing, and try to attach ourselves to the Lord. That's what. Okay. So this is the way devotee, develop the good qualities. Okay. Once you develop the good quality, means actually good quality developing once, essentially is coming at a mode of goodness, Sattva. And in Sattva only, we can understand the transcendental truths. Okay. In the passion and ignorance, it is very difficult to really appreciate yourself. Okay. So we should always develop those qualities by chanting regularly. Quality will come automatically. And of course, we can put voluntary effort to improve more and more those qualities. So these qualities, which are explained two slokas before, are very important. Without that, it's difficult to continue on the service of the Lord. Okay. So this is the gist of this sloka. There is still that Prabhupada says that engage constantly in chanting in about the Supreme Personality. The sadhus do not suffer from because they are always filled with thoughts of my pastime. So why devotees are not subjected to, actually devotees also are subjected to mild mental sufferings. Okay, mild, but then that is only to keep duty always on the path of self-realization. Because otherwise, Maya, if you don't get suffering in the life, you may not approach Lord. That's majority thing. Majority people. There are very few pure devotees who has approached the Lord, at least to start with, without any motive. But otherwise, in general mass, they need to get attached, attracted to them. Okay. So um, um, so summarizingly in this chapter, the formula for being happy is given. How? Because the devotee is free from lamentation and hankering. Hankering means to get some enjoyment, material sense enjoyment. We keep hankering, we keep asking more, we keep, that's called hankering. After something, material. and after anchoring, lamentation. Because we are temporary, bodies are temporary, our life is temporary, things are temporary. It is going to get destroyed. That time we'll become sad and say that, oh, I have lost something. Okay, so that's another trouble. And this trouble only. Okay, so hankering and suffering makes the soul bonded and then under suffering. But if you are attaching yourself to Lord or devotee, you will not have this problem because there is only service matters. Devotee want to give service, and Lord is happy to take the service. Devotional service. Okay. But since devotee is not attached to all this results of those, devotees are attached to the doing service to God that way, not to the you know say for example say service to the Lord devotees will do, but he will not uh, get attached to the paraphernalia process. He will attach to the service as to satisfy the Lord. That's his motto. Motto is not to self-end. So in this way, devotee doesn't get bonded by the karmic actions and reaction. That's a secret. That's a confidential part of it. We should understand, and by following devotional service, we should, deliver ourselves because by this liberation comes, and by liberation comes before devotional service. By this selfless service to the Lord, devotional service to the Lord. Okay, so this is a purport of the this shloka, and Prabhupada has explained. I just summarized it further. So we'll stop here. But any questions or suggestions, we can. Prabhuji is not there today, but we can take any questions or suggestions, comments. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments, we can discuss. Most important, just to add, the last sentence Prabhupada mentioned in the biggest suffering is a forgetfulness of the Lord. So we have got tendency to forget the Lord. That is due to our Maya, we being under control of Maya. So real suffering is forgetfulness because sufferings are there. That's what we discuss. But they are okay. They are there. But if you forget Lord, everything is a suffering. So Prabhupada is right. Real suffering. So we should never forget Lord's devotional service. We'll continue doing Lord's devotional service. Sufferings will be reduced, minimized. Even though they come, we can tolerate. Lord will take care of it. See, if you dedicate ourselves to Lord's activity, why you will not take care of us? He'll take care of us like a father takes care of the son. So same way. Okay. So this is very important. Okay. So you can further comment or put some questions. Okay. So we are closing little bit early today. If there are no questions or comments, we'll stop here today. Hare Krishna. Dantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thanks devotees for joining.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so we will close the session.